Hi, Denise Naylor here. Without today's topic, you are unlikely to get other people to commit to your goals. In fact, you may find that people whose support you need don't really care about your aims and may even undermine your efforts to succeed. But with today's topic, you will attract the people who want to help you and who can help you. Today's topic is budget communication. Have you ever noticed how some people are comfortable discussing money, whereas for others it is almost never mentioned? Instead, it is treated like a secret. For many years, I've been involved in corporate budget management. And when I meet a budget manager, one of the first things I ask is, when do you get to see your agreed budget? You might be surprised to hear that many managers tell me that they do not receive budgets in good time. In fact, in some cases, I hear that budgets are not communicated until after the operating period has commenced. Would you agree with me that you would find it difficult to manage a business when you don't know when resources are going to become available? These situations, and they're surprisingly common, lead to frustration and stress in the business. The same applies in your personal life. Are money matters shared in your family, in your significant relationship? In my experience, lack of communication around money is a major cause of stress and failure in both corporate and personal relationships. If you'd been with me in June 1973, you'd have been walking up the steep hill from the railway station to my family home in Surrey. I'm with Jackie, my university friend, with her thick brown hair and smiling face. I stop. Denise, I thought you told me you were used to this hill. Don't tell me you're out of breath already. Jackie, I've walked up and down this hill for 17 years. No, I'm not out of breath. It's just that I can see the house from here, and there's something different about it. Something has changed since I went away to university. Oh well, we'll soon find out. And as we step inside the house and everyone is talking at the same time, the penny drops. Hey, Mum, Dad, you've got a new front door. Yes, Denise dearie, you remember that the old one let the drafts in. At first I feel annoyed that they didn't consult me, quickly followed by the realization that I've been very lucky to come from a family in which we were all consulted before every decision was taken. Okay, I get it. It's only because I've left home that I'm not part of the front door decision. Anyway, it's a good choice. As I'm standing right there in the hallway, looking at the new door, I make a decision. I want to be someone who consults and communicates, not someone who decides in secret and imposes decisions on others. In my book, Managing Your Leisure Service Budgets, I write about the complexities of communicating plans to managers and the resentment that many of the managers I worked with expressed to me. Here's a partial quote from the book. I believe that we can use the budget to communicate more effectively. From time to time, I hear comments along the lines of, why should I sign for this budget when the figures I put forward originally have been altered? Or, this budget has been imposed on me and my staff. I can't possibly be expected to sign for it. Attitudes of resentment are understandable. A much better approach is to enter into the budget process actively, put forward your suggestions and ideas, accept those things that cannot be changed in the short term, and adapt the resources that are available to the organisation's requirements. And if this does not happen, maybe it's time for you to move on to an employer where your contribution is taken seriously and valued. I wrote that in the year 2000. Unfortunately, it is still true today for many businesses. Not yours, of course. The late Professor Tony Hopwood noted the use of informal information systems by managers. He found that managers were forced into keeping secret records of finance in their department. They then use these records to check against the accounting report and sometimes to challenge the accountants. Where the accounting reports do not communicate the information needed, you can find distrust between managers and accountants. Hopwood's research detailed examples where this approach led to staff behaving dishonestly, to personal stress, and even fraud in the business. I'm not speaking about confidentiality, that must always be present. I am speaking about trust and transparency in your team, in your business, with your partner, with your family members. Now, the published research relates to the past, and perhaps you're thinking, well, what's the relevance in today's world? Well, would you agree with me that change is happening very fast today? Technologies are changing. There's much more competition in nearly every area of business, and that means that cost estimates are out of date almost as soon as they're finalised. Today's environment calls for more trust and transparency, for more teamwork, for better communication. I have found that when I take steps to communicate what my plans are and what I need, those resources do show up. You see, if you want to achieve your goals, it's much easier if you tell your relevant people right from the start and allow them to contribute. Whereas if you keep everything secret, you are likely to create a toxic environment where people don't trust each other and false information circulates. So what does this mean for you? Maybe you know someone who works in an environment where the finances are kept secret from the people who need the information to do their job, where budget setting is more like a war game than a mutual attempt to achieve the business strategy. Perhaps you know someone who doesn't allow their partner or family to know how much money the family has. Possibly you can think of a person who does not involve relevant others in decision making, who takes all the decisions themselves and then wonders why others are not committed to the goals. Or are you the person who encourages consultation and involvement, someone who allows your team to learn and grow? Yes, and to fail sometimes too, as they learn how to contribute. Join the Cash Genie Global Experience and learn how communicating about resources can take you step by step to financial freedom. Thanks for being on this call. Keep learning how you can manage cash, and do join me next week.